Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am MeoLammerz, your favorite basement dweller, and today we are going to tell another Yu-Gi-Oh! Horror story. Once again, this was an anonymous submission. I have no rights to this story, but I have been blessed with the ability to tell it. If you have a horror story of your own that you would like to share with me, so that maybe I can talk about it on YouTube for laughs and giggles, just shoot me a DM over Twitter. I would love to be able to tell your story to the world. Alright everyone, just like last time, I'm filming with my new phone, so we have my old phone ready with screenshots of the screenshots that I took. Once again, my reading skills, not the best. So just stick with me if I slur my words or sound a little weird when I read, but hopefully we can enjoy this story together. Reminder, I have no idea what is in this story or what's a part of it. I have no idea if anything super messed up happens or if I can even post this video on YouTube. If you're seeing it, I guess that's the answer. But we're totally blind reviewing this with you, and it's exciting. Let's get into it. So, for the horror stories, I don't know if this counts, but I hope it helps. I got 2 stories for you. Ooh, a twofer. Interesting. It was the release of the first Battles of Legend, and my friends and I decided, since we don't have a locals, to drive a 2-hour drive to the locals in a big city. You know what? I've been there. I've straight up gotten a group of friends together. We go like 2.5 hours away to go to somebody else's locals. I get it. Respect. I remember we had an amazing time. And then the owner told us, hey guys, we have a magic tournament today. Mind staying in the back so we can have the tables? We agreed, so we went to the back and got our table, but it was so tiny, only one playmat could properly fit. It sucked. That's why you get a double-sided playmat. I'm kidding. This, honestly, it sounds odd. I wonder if they made sure to call ahead to see if they were actually having the Battles of Legend set being a release day there. It sounds like they weren't so far. Normally you should call ahead for that stuff. By the way, if you didn't know, if you're planning on traveling quite a while to go to a different locals, especially for a release day of any kind, you should call ahead to be sure that they're even hosting for it, because there are some OTS that run Yu-Gi-Oh! But don't do pre-releases, so always be sure to check. And then another Yu-Gi-Oh! Player showed up. It was a kid. He looked like 7 to 8 years old, and he asked if he could join us. We said, of course, and he was so proud because he just spent his allowance on the new card, Castel. And he was so excited to have this new card. It's so cute. One of the Magic players overheard this happening and hated it. I had never heard someone degrade someone else's choices so badly in my life. I think I know where this is going. And actually, like, the reason I made that face is because I also have a story that's kind of like this. Let's just continue reading, because these situations get really bad really fast if somebody doesn't step in. He told the kid, you wasted your money, sell your deck, and come play a real game. Yikes. And when the kid said no, I had never seen someone else's face get so red so fast. We didn't want to start stuff, but apparently the rest of the Magic players were in support of the man's words for the kid and just ruined his day. While we 4 were trying to duel, I remember us telling the kid to ignore him and just have fun dueling with us, and we just got heckled over and over. Eventually, after some pretty fun duels, if you ignored the heckling, the kid left, and 30 minutes later we left too. Too much hatred, and the owner was doing nothing more or less encouraging the words. I remember us driving home, and my buddy in the back looked up the place. Like, Googled the reviews. I mentioned that because I had to read this like 3 times to understand what was happening. And apparently that's a pretty normal thing that goes on. Their Magic players rule it with an iron fist and don't let anyone else have fun there. We have never returned there since, and I kind of never want to, if a choice of a trading card game will make people want to leave your store. So honestly, with this story, it's all too real. I 100% believe this one's truly honest, which sucks. Like I said, I believe it because I've seen stuff like this happen with my own eyes. Luckily, it seems like a lot of the TCG communities have gotten better, but I still know that there are some random stores that I've visited that are just so toxic. If you're not playing the it game in their locals, it doesn't matter. They will verbally take it out on you, and it's a little ridiculous. I kind of wish that we had a community of adults who enjoyed things together and just being part of this nerd geek culture, rather than a few adults enjoying nerd geek culture and a bunch of toddlers who think it's their right to tell their opinion to anyone within a 5-foot radius. You know? Time for the second story. The second story, I promise this is shorter, LOL. I can't believe I just said LOL out loud. This story is pretty recent. This is from the Coughing Times. So I'm battling in the big triple player tournament. Our team is doing really good, but something happens and I've never seen the energy of the room die as fast as it did. 15 people entered our locals, maskless. I know that there are controversial opinions on this, for sure. And this honestly is not the place to vocalize your personal opinions. This is just part of the story. Just taking a pause there. Let's enjoy the story. 15 people entered our locals maskless to play another card game an hour later. So they, maskless, just sat in the middle of the room. That was a little awkward to read, but you get the concept. Now our locals isn't really that big of a building, so I never seen 5 teams of 3 pushed up against the left wall, and there were more that showed up, like 5, thankfully, but it was so scary. The owner at least actually did something about this, but I've never seen so many so scared people in my life. And we're all just lucky that none of us got sick. So like I said, I know that this is more controversial, especially the second story, and people have their own opinions on their own health habits and everything else that goes with it. I personally think that if you know that there's a potential of people feeling safer or potentially being safer, you should do everything you can to make that possible for the people around you, even if your opinions don't necessarily agree with it. Trying to stumble through what my opinion is without going yada 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 my opinion. And it's a little difficult when it's unscripted. But my point is that, like, I understand why everyone there was uncomfortable, especially if it was right in the midst of everything happening. People today are still getting sick, and you know, I understand the precautions for it have, you know, dwindled down. So wearing a mask everywhere isn't necessarily a necessity right now. But wash your hands, wash your face, shower, please. Just be safe, y'all. I mean, for real. Just take care of one another. Try to respect that some people prefer, you know, to be a little safer if possible, even if you don't think that, you know, their idea of what makes them safer is even something that would work. You know, it's something that is at least worth trying, even if it could protect the people around you. I think it's good to give it a shot. But anyways, what did you think of these 2 stories? Do you believe that they are real? I personally do. These ones feel more realistic than the other person's, but let me know below. And if you happen to have your own horror story, like I mentioned before, definitely hit me up on Twitter. Link down below. You can also stalk me on Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!